Hello you wonderful YouTubers, welcome to my channel, Tiger Rose Rides. You see me going over the Hasler Bridge right now. If you've seen my previous blogs, you'll know this is just the latest incarnation of this bridge, which was originally put so people can get across the creek to get to the hospital, which obviously is no longer in service. It's now private accommodation, and we're going past it in a second. To my left is HMS Alliance, the submarine. Fantastic trip to go to that and get a tour around it. And to my left now is where I did all my CBT and everything. So that was fun. Ooh. So on my left we're just coming past the old Royal Hasler Hospital, a naval hospital originally. It also housed one of the first mental health units. That's modern speak. I don't know what they called it then. But yeah, you can imagine lots of soldiers, or sailors I should say, battle weary, what we now know as battle shock, post-traumatic stress, that's the word I'm looking for. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And so back in those days they had no idea how to treat it, so the mental health ward was put in a separate building, with the sole purpose of working it out, basically working out what to do with these sailors and possibly soldiers that were battle weary with PTSD, etc. So, where am I going? Well, actually I'm not going far today. I'll go to Lee and then have a quick 5-minute sit while I contemplate everything. And yeah, just see, might go for another a bit of a ride. I might just call it quits there and just chill out down at Lee. Might even go to Stokes Bay as well, see who's there, what's what. This week I'm going to do another motorbike history. I wouldn't say one that's more recent, because they've been going quite a while, but they're still going, and very much like BSA, they stopped for a while, but now they're back, and that's DOT, as you all know, stands for Divide of Trouble. And I thought it'd be quite interesting to do a history on them, so we'll see how it goes. I will try and keep it moderately small, but I don't want to miss out anything important, so it might be a bit of a long video, we'll see. But right now I'm taking you along the seafront, so first of all we'll see Stokes Bay. Wonderful Stokes Bay, one of two beaches I spent almost my entire youth at with my sisters and with the Gosport and Fairmanshire Rescue Service way back in the late 60s. And yeah, absolutely enjoyed my youth there. And for whatever reason, there was only really one reason, it got me out of the house and away from a certain person. So yeah, and I remember many nights we'd spend in the gaffer's hut, which was only a small hut at the time, just big enough to house the one and then later on two small semi-rigids we had, and as rescue boats, and the canoes, because we were also canoe lifeguards, which I mostly did. I didn't go out in the boat very much, I was mostly canoe lifeguard. But yeah, then we did our training in St Vincent Pool, for those of you that remember that. What a great time that was. So we're now at Stokes Bay, the sea is just to my left, Crazy Golf to the right. Yeah, great fun. fun. It's a lovely day actually. It's a bit cloudy as you can see, a bit overcast, but it's very warm today. There's a lovely mild breeze, not cold at all. Beautiful colour of the sea. It's a bit of a turquoise or teal, a bit of a teal colour today. It can be any colour. It can go from a bright blue to brown, muddy colour. All depends on the weather. But today it's a lovely teal. You do have to be very careful out in the Solent and in Lee, and as you go around Gill Kicker Point, there's many undercurrents to be had, so you do have to be very careful when you go out swimming. And many a floating device, kiddies, unicorns and whatever, have been swept out there with the winds and the tides and the currents. So yeah, and that's possibly, I don't know how it is these days with them, but certainly back in our day, my day, a lot of the trouble we had was with floatables. Floatables, is that what they're called? Floatables? Oh well, you get where I'm coming from. Directly in front of me, lovely cafe. They do let dogs in there. Sometimes that can be a little bit overwhelming, but hey ho. And also to my left, just past there, was the diving museum, which still isn't open yet. I was hoping it would be, but obviously the repairs to the fort that it's in are taking longer than ever, or longer than anticipated. So we're going a little bit of a back road here, away from the coast, because we're going past Browndown, where they had all the, well, in fact still do, have the ranges, mostly set up for First and Second World Wars, for the riflemen that were going off to war to get their 5-round practice in, or whatever it was, but it wasn't much, that's for sure. And I've mentioned before, to my left now, we've got Browndown Barracks, which was the barracks used for the Bad Lads Army, for those of you that remember that. I was addicted to that programme. I thought it was so funny. The instructors were so cool, and like many other people that I've known throughout my career. Just as a bit of a side thought, as you probably just heard the ticking there from my Moto 2 satellite sat-nav, this one here. I've found this Series 2 one much more reliable than the Series 1. It's it never misses a beat now, never misses a beat, but the Series 1 I often lost the signal, so I wasn't getting anything through the helmet, and then it'd all of a sudden kick in while the indicators are on, but it's too late. I'm pretty much out of the turn by then. So yeah, much more reliable. If you were thinking of getting one, get the Series 2, because I find it much more reliable, and there's less wires to put together as well. You only got 4 wires. Before you had 4 wires, but 2 of them came in half, and then you had to put connect them up. It wasn't difficult because it was just pushed together, but yeah, it saved you all that. It's just battery, indicator cables, that's your lot, done and dusted. And I've done a video on the installation. It's probably not a very good video, but I've done one nonetheless. So we're now past Browndown, we're in Lee now, and this is the main Lee road. To my left, we used to have the rail system, which during the Second World War was the mainstay of troop carrying. And it was also used for bringing munitions, because all the D-Day rehearsals, not all of them, but many D-Day rehearsals happened here. And they set off from here, so obviously they took all their munitions and everything with them. So yeah, so we've got the Isle of Wight to our left now, and I haven't been over there for many years. I really must take the bike over and enjoy a couple of days of just going around the island, and it is a lovely, lovely place to be. And the whole island is more or less geared towards holiday makers, so especially around the coastlines, around the Needles, Cowes, Ryde, etc., etc. Fremantle is all over the place. It's a lovely place to be. Anyway, I'm going to stop nattering because we're nearly at where I want to be. And I'll start the history in a bit. I'm going to use some old footage for that. I won't do that today. I'll use some old footage going up maybe to Butser Hill or something. Anyway, enjoy. So, this week's bike history is going to be about the DOT Motorcycle Company. DOT was, or is, a motorcycle company that produced motorcycles from 1907 to 1978. As early as 1903, Harry Reid of Manchester founded the company, and it remained in Manchester until its demise in 1978. It wasn't until 1907 that the first DOT appeared, which was fitted with a 3.5 horsepower V-twin Peugeot engine and belt drive. The torpedo-shaped fuel tank gave the machine a low line, and Reid took part in many competitive events around the country, and this helped to promote the company. In 1908, Harry Reid won the twin-cylinder class of the TT and continued to race successfully until 1924. The road range was typical of the era, and the engines used were Peugeot, Jap and Precision singles and V-twins. And over the years, the poor transmission of the early days gradually improved. In 1915, only Jap engines were being used as their standard engines, along with 2, 3 or 4-speed Albion or Jardine gearboxes. It remained that way throughout the First World War years, and after the war, a small range appeared comprising a single and 2 twins. The Jap-powered models were joined by a model fitted with the 348cc oil-cooled overhead valve Bradshaw engine. In 1924, the range expanded still further with the addition of a model fitted with the same size Blackburn engine and one with an overhead valve Jap V twin engine and another with a similar Anzani engine. And in the same year, Harry Reid came second in the sidecar TT. In 1925, the range shrank to 3 350cc models, and in 1926, the range remained the same until Harry Reid left the firm that year, at the age of 50. It then passed to new owners who expanded the range, and in 1927, the range expanded still further with the introduction of several two-strokes of different capacity that ran alongside the various four-strokes. 1928 to 1932 saw the Depression years. Many businesses suffered, and DOT was no exception. It caused the range to shrink rapidly with very little production. Staff were laid off, and times became very hard for the firm. In 1928, DOT commenced using Villiers engines until 1932, when manufacturers ceased. After 1932, the company changed hands yet again when Bernard Wade took over, and between 1932 and the Second World War in 1939, nothing much changed. Sales did increase after emerging from the Depression, but the war years forced the factory to help with the war effort, as many businesses did at that time. Post-World War II, the DOT name resurfaced with the production of a 3-wheeled motorcycle truck fitted with a 122cc Villiers engine, and in 1949 a single road model was launched. It was fitted with a 197cc Villiers engine, and this spawned a series of mainly competition machines, with further road models following on. In 1959, a new model appeared, and this differed from all the previous ones as it had a 248cc Brockhouse SV engine. Brockhouse had previously, during the war, produced the Corgi bike, which in 1952 had been adapted to fit into a capsule that could be parachuted into war zones.
In 1956, the Mancunian model was marketed, and this had a Villiers 9E engine which produced 8.4 horsepower at 4,000 revs per minute. In 1957, the year I was born, good year, the DOT Vivi mopeds were added to augment the range. These were imports built by the Italian firm Fiberti, which were fitted with 48cc engines from Victoria of Germany, with whom Viberti had an agreement. 1959, yet another model was listed. This was fitted with a 349cc RCA twin two-stroke, but it, along with the Mancunian, was short-lived. The range then became trials and scrambler models in various combinations. The company also sold the DOT Guizzoni two-stroke moped from Italy in a variety of engine sizes. In 1962, the mopeds were dropped and the motorcycle range had already started to shrink. Due to the influx of affordable family cars such as the Mini and the Volkswagen Beetle, the late 1960s saw worsening motorbike trade. This meant that the machines were only available in kit form. The supply of Villiers engines dried up, and the final years the firm used the Italian 170cc Minarelli unit until the later half of the 1970s. By 1978, the company then used a Villiers Type 246cc engine that was built by the Dawson Motor Works. When B.S. Wade showed his final creation to interested parties, it featured the MP-style forks, a restyled frame and smaller hubs. BMW had bought the rights to the Villiers engine, and it looked similar to the 37A but had BMW on the chain case, and the engine covers were finished in black. However, the availability of Spanish trials machines meant that their efforts came to nothing and production ceased. After motorcycle production stopped, the firm continued their business by producing shock absorbers for cars and motorcycles under the DOT Armstrong name. And in more recent times, DOT has made a resurgence and is continuing with the catchphrase "devoid of trouble," which these days is a big claim to make. Well, that's pretty much it for this week. I could have done a bit more on the DOT, but literally we're running out of time now and people have no doubt switched off a long time ago. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you got some interest out of it and maybe learned a thing or two. So until next week, take care. If you're riding, get home safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.